Welcome back. We've just talked about how well the CareYaya model works at filling the gap for caregiving. So here to talk about what the future holds for CareYaya is Leah Warnke, a former caregiver and the head of health equity at CareYaya. Welcome to the show, Leah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, why don't we start with, how did you even get involved with this organization?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, right now I am a senior at Chapel Hill, and during my junior year I was on a quest to accumulate hours for PA school. So I found CareYaya and started providing care, and I love the mission so much that I joined the team in the business growth side, so loving it.
Now you're doing something different now, aren't you? I mean, you started off as a caregiver, and now what's your role?
Yeah, so now my role is to help spread awareness about what we do, to help bring care to as many families as possible, and to build relationships with other community organizations, academics, healthcare workers, families, basically building a strong network of people so that we can best support the families in our care.
Well, one of the things, and I, having gone through it myself, you know, you have folks who you love and they need help and they need to be cared for. And you'd like to provide it, but you're also employed and you have to work and you have to pay bills. Could you just, for the folks who may not have gone through it yet, just kind of expound on that a little bit, the difficulties that these folks face?
Yeah, being both an employee and a caretaker for someone who is elderly or seriously ill or who has a disability can be incredibly emotionally and physically taxing. And you know, there can be good parts too. You get to grow closer with the person you're caring for, but you're also juggling employment responsibilities with work that is very, very time consuming and requires just a high level of focus. If you're, you know, taking care of someone who has dementia, you have to be vigilant constantly. So it takes a lot out of you, and there definitely need to be support resources, which is kind of what we're trying to do, providing support for people who are serving in this family caregiver role, as you know, they're also balancing work responsibilities.
Well, you know, and this is one of those great ideas that I wish I had thought of, because it was there's such a great need for it, and the model is wonderful. You know, the population's aging, right? So is this going to be a topic that's going to be discussed at the employer's table? I mean, is something that employees are going to be wanting from the employer at some point?
I believe it definitely is going to be something employees are going to want support from their employers on. We have learned that it's not something that's frequently talked about in the workplace, and I think a part of that is people fear retribution from sharing outside stressors. So it's one thing to talk about child care needs. It's another thing to talk about the urgency of a situation when a parent has fallen or has fallen ill and they need, you know, immediate assistance, and that's something that people are hesitant to share.
Why do you think that is? Because we've already accepted the fact, right, that kids need to be taken care of. We have maternity leave, and both mom and dad can be part of that. Why not for, you know, grandpa and grandma?
That's a great question. I think it's because oftentimes, even though we know aging is absolutely going to happen, it's something that we're not expecting. So, you know, mom and dad is doing fine until one day they aren't. And so those needs kind of spring upon us a lot of the time. And people are worried to share that in the workplace because they're worried of facing retaliation through things of like being passed over for a promotion or given less important tasks at work. And I also think it's important to recognize that these caregiving responsibilities most often fall on women or people of color. They're predominantly the ones who take on these additional familial responsibilities, and they are already facing possible workplace discrimination. So sharing with their bosses that they have these outside responsibilities as well can seem incredibly daunting.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, I hadn't thought of it that way, but I can imagine that it is. Now, for employers, what should they be doing? I mean, I'm sure this is going to be a topic, and it's only going to be something that expands over time. So what should employers be considering for future employees as maybe a benefit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think supporting elder care needs is absolutely going to be the next big benefit that sweeps over the modern workforce. From employers, this means, one, just listening to your employees and asking them what types of support they need. And also, we truly think subsidizing elder care in the same way that many organizations subsidize childcare, because that's a responsibility that we accept as a society, subsidizing elder care so that their employees, when they can't step away from work and be that personal caretaker, they can find people to care for their loved ones, like the college students at CareYaya. We love to provide the care when you're not able to yourself. So,
well, where can people go for information? Where an employer might be able to go, if they are thinking, you know, this makes a lot of sense, and what can I do as an employer? Where do you get this kind of information?
Yeah, so you can go to our platform, CareYaya.org, to learn all about how we work. And right now we're working with several HR professionals to build this program, because it's new and innovative. Not a lot of people are doing this yet. And so we really encourage employers who are interested in supporting their employees in this way to reach out to us at CareYaya.org.
I'm just curious, how's the response been so far? I would think that employers could see this as a potential big benefit for employees.
Yes, employers have been warming up to the idea. Initially, they were a little skeptical, because I think when people think of elder care, they associate all of these complex health needs, and yes, that can come with growing older, but a lot of people simply need help with daily tasks of living, and that's a lot less daunting to think. You're not taking on complex, expensive medical bills of your employees' parents. You're just helping them live a life that they find meaningful. You're helping them maintain that independence and autonomy, and you can do that through supporting them with caregivers who are not necessarily licensed medical professionals, and that's a lot less daunting for employers.
Well, CareYaya is awesome. What an awesome idea, and thank you for joining us, Leah.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for being here with us as well. We hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you have any questions or you'd like to know more, visit our websites at RaleighCW.com and myrdctv.com. I'm Bill LeMay, and thank you for watching Community Matters, and we'll see you next week.